do. Okay, gonna see if I can start early again and maybe start on some of these corrections before I get onto the inking. Should we keep it blue or red? I think we should do red. Oop. Too much. Alright, so what we're going to do is probably the ball fist. So we're going to go. Might be cuter. There. And then the ruffles, we are going to do the old ruffle trick of drawing the line first. And seeing if we can somehow get a look of ruffles that it's a little bit nicer. Hi everyone who's just joined. Yes, I'm starting a little bit early because I wanted to do a few corrections before I got right onto the inking, which will be happening very, very shortly. I just wanted to get a few of these details right. See if I can make it look a little bit, yeah, get some of the more details in here, especially on the ruffles, things like this, since they're very important to this character. Last night was a lot of fun, and so yeah, I decided to jump on again tonight so that I could continue this and get some really nice, okay, so we don't need ruffles all the way over there. Yeah, so get some really nice results. There we go. Maybe I'll just wait for some comments. See who's lurking, saying hello. Maybe it's morning where you are. So good morning, or good evening if you're local. Right, just gonna take a look at my quick cheat reference here. Oh, it's gonna be a big picture, is it? I hope it's gonna be a big picture. No, it's not. Clip Studio tips. Here we go. That's the one that I wanted. Yeah, look at that. Hey, look at that reference there. These nice fat ruffles. I really like this, where they sort of like pop out. See if I can achieve a look like that. These are a bit square-ish, so maybe let's try this one again. Just erase this out. So we want these ruffles to sort of come out like this, right? go. Hi, Campbell. South Africa is warmer today. Oh, that's good. I hope it's good. Right. So just doing a couple of corrections here before I get onto the inks, because I'm thinking I can get this looking a little bit better. I figured out what I was going to do with the shoulder after all, and that is that, if I can just do a quick illustration here. Okay, what we've got is got this neck, right? If I bring in our reference back, okay. Hey, where's our reference? There she is. Let's just go to solid mode for a second. Okay, here's our reference. And we'll just drop back the refined pencils here a moment so we can see what we're doing. Hey, Ashley, how you doing? Good to see you again. Okay, we've got no, it's hidden, right. Okay, so we've got the neck going in here. And this shoulder's here. And from the shading, it looks like this is pointing towards us, right? Especially the foreshadowing stuff. But in order to get this looking right, we actually have to make this frill turn away from us, so that it's going to be basically the sleeve is going to obscure the arm, right? Which will then probably have a straight run. Then we can maybe add in a few frills here to really mess with our heads. But if we do this, right, and we sort of point it away from us, what's going to happen is that when we bring this back, okay, these corrected lines are going to look better because it looks like these shoulders are in line. See, we've got a line going across here. And so the shoulder would sort of be there. And so we can have these frills sort of going out like this. And then this piece would be sort of almost flush. I think that's how it's got to work, right? Facing away from us, because the arm should be pointing out and then in. And we may have to correct this arm a little bit as well. So I'm just going to go to erase stroke here and try this again. Okay. So right now we've got everything pointing inwards, which could work because like the shoulder joint could definitely do that. But I think what we need to do is have these frills facing away and this sleeve also kind of facing away a little bit. Maybe the arm can go back like this. We can bring the elbow up ever so slightly, and so then we'd get a bit more foreshortening here, I guess. So we sort of move the arm, yeah, away from the body and then in. Yeah, I think we can do something like that. All right, so let's just see if these corrections are working here. I've also done something with the hand here. I found this to be too plain a pose, so I'm liking the bunched fist. Maybe she could be grabbing a couple of these frills, or maybe she could just be leaning on it. Let's just drop this down. Let's see what could look good. If she grabs a couple of the frills, then we'd sort of have a bit of a pinch, and then we sort of like have the dress coming down that way. Don't really want that. Maybe she's just sort of pressing on that. Okay. What have we got here on the drawing? Yes, I've forgotten some of the patterning. Oh, of course, the patterning was going to have to come later. This is sort of over the top, and then the frills go under. Right, and then the knee comes in there, And then we know we've got a knee in there, don't we? I'm an old cartoonist who hates redrawing, so 3D seems the next evolution. Do you favor characters in 3D scenes, in 3D, or scenes in 3D, or both? Look, it depends on the artistry, really. If it's handled well, like I'm always in awe of 2D art, just because trying to redraw and redraw and redraw is just wow. Hats off to the people who just have to sit there and do the same thing over and over and over again. But like at the end of it, like if you've ever seen those cartoonists, those Disney cartoonists, and they can just draw Mickey from reference or without reference, you know, they just draw Mickey or Donald or any of those animated characters. They can do it with their eyes closed because they've literally drawn them for like 10,000 hours, you know. And so they know every little bit of anatomy that's going on there. What I'm doing here is just a little bit of correction. How do I artist? Hi, David. How are you? I art by arting. How's it going, David? Wow, you popped in. Yeah, I like 3D that's well handled. What do I mean by that? If I see 3D that's kind of lazy, and by lazy I mean wait, I'm trying to do something here. Let me make my point, and then I'll come back to this before I double up on my work here. Because we've got so much technology at our fingertips when we do 3D. If I see lazy 3D, I don't like it. I just think, you know, you've just done pose to pose. You've just done the bare minimum. You've really phoned it in. But when I see something that has gone, okay, you know what? We can do amazing things with 3D. And so we're going to push the boundaries and see where we can take things. I think I recently saw a film called Mitchell's versus the Machines. That was one brilliant example. I'm thinking of a guy who wants a Garfield kind of strip, same characters and different dialogue. Oh, right, okay. The sort of the gag a day strip. I've done one of these, and I found that you end up reusing a lot of stuff. So from a 2D perspective, you come up with sort of like a style Bible, something that kind of gives you, this is how this character is drawn from this angle and blah, blah, blah. And a Garfield type of strip is, oh yeah, it is an awesome movie. A Garfield type of strip takes a character that is easy to draw from the same angle over and over again, because you know you're just going to be doing the same thing, and there's a lot of, I mean, I've been guilty of copying and pasting a lot of frames, and sometimes there's a point to it. A guy that helped me edit, Jason Badower, he would go, oh, look, I can see that you're obviously pressed for time and you're trying to cut corners on time and all that sort of stuff. But he'd always give me the advice, draw harder. Because once you know how to draw your characters, they should come to you fairly easily to draw over and over again. And by drawing harder, it means, you know, you give yourself that challenge. I mean, by all means, take shortcuts when you can. I don't like the phrase shortcut exactly, because it sort of says, oh, look, I'm cheating and whatnot. And, you know, you don't want to sort of cheat your audience out of a product, right? They're paying to be entertained, and part of that entertainment happens to be the effort that you put in. But at the same time, you sort of have to weigh up the cost benefit, I guess. And so if something warrants copying, pasting, or using the same kind of poses and that sort of stuff, I'd say sort of learn the poses. The same goes for 3D. Like 3D isn't sort of a magical solution, like a push button solution. It offers up a solution, but then it opens a lot of doors. It opens up a lot of possibility. And if you don't embrace the possibilities that you have, then, it's, where's the work? Where's the art? Where's the fun? You liked my dad. Yes, home-based. I did too, and I always swear to go back to it. I've got like a couple more strips in the barrel, but, things have been happening, and, a lot of work has been on the cards, and I know I'm going to get back to home-based at some point. I'm just going to like pick the best strips. A lot of them already make me cringe a little. And so like I'd be picking a best of and writing some better ones. Okay, what am I trying to do here with the sleeve? All right, bang, elbow, bang, and then frills. That's what I was going to do. I was going to do frills. So let's do some gathered frills here. Okay. All right. Now I've got my corrections in place. Who wants to see some inking? All right. Okay, refine pencils, corrections. We can take away the corrections now. We can take away our reference model. All right, the inks now are a fun part. I'm just going to double check. Again, Control 1. Still something about it. It's like her back goes up here and then her neck's over here. So maybe what I've got to do is fix her back to go in line. So if I took my corrections layer over here, let's get our red pencil in. All right. Neck, back. Okay, so like we know that sort of like her form is here. So her back's got to sort of be arching over here. We've got a shoulder here. Right, that looks great. So maybe it's this back line here that's giving it a bit of, it needs to be more, okay, it needs to be more like that, and then more in like that, and maybe, okay, may have to reduce this one a little bit. Okay, and get the neck in like that. Right. Is this a project or random? No, an old student of mine, her online name is Dumpling. She was doing a challenge on Twitter. She's like, draw this in your style. And so I said, oh, you know what? Do you mind if I do this as a Speedpaint or, like a live stream or something? And she's like, oh, I'd love that to happen. So yeah, started last night. I got as far as these pencils here. Okay, that's better. Okay, maybe she's a little bit too thin in front. So move this line forward. And maybe these lines are just giving us the wrong contour. That's what's going on. So this has to sort of stick out like that. Okay, leg. Right, we're not going to see all of that leg, but now we're starting to look better. I'm just going to go into edit mode here and do a little bit of proportional editing. Yeah, so I said, oh, look, I'd love to do this as a live stream. And she's like, oh, yeah, absolutely. That'd be great. I'd be honored. And so on. So, yeah, here I am doing the Drawing Dumplings kind of self-portrait character as a live stream. So yeah, she's looking a little bit more in proportion. And then of course through the camera, kind of looks good. Yeah, I think I know what's bothering me. Now. It looks like this shoulder is too short and this shoulder's too long. So what we have to do is either bring this closer to here. Yeah, I think we've got to do that. And maybe have to fix up this collar ever so slightly. Don't erase the chin, don't erase the chin. Erased a bit of the tie. Okay. If you're just joining, welcome. Welcome to the live stream. Second one for this week. I'm going to be getting onto inks very shortly. I'm just doing a couple of minor corrections to the pose so that our inks end up being a lot... I want to say easier, but I really want to say... yeah, I don't want to say easier. I want to say streamlined. Or... Send me a reference. And can I make it a Patreon exclusive, David? I already got a request to draw myself as one, so yeah. I hear that's all the rage in anime at the moment. Okay. I think I like where this is sitting. I'm just going to save that. I'm going to add a new layer. We're going to call this inks. I'll lock off our refined layer. So we've had our lines, got our corrections, refined pencils. I can now drop the opacity of this. Now I'm tempted to work in camera view because that way I can get proportional line thickness to the view. Okay, inks layer. We're going to switch brush to the ink pen. The ink pen, just a solid stroke is good. I'm going to go into vertex paint mode and just make sure that we've got black as our palette. Now this default palette opens up when we switch to something called vertex color mode. What's vertex color? Well, I can take, so like a bit old school, bit of the old school Blender history. You used to have just these materials on the right here. And so for every color you wanted to draw, you'd have to add another material, and you can end up with a lot of materials. Now I can, I don't even use this one, so by square stroke or the dot stroke. Actually, I'm going to keep this one because I may need an effect eventually, and dot strokes are really good for that. Solid stroke is black. Material, black. Okay, now I need to be in rendered mode or material view mode. Right, solid stroke is black. I go into vertex mode, and now I can still paint in that solid stroke color, but I can paint in any color I choose from this color palette. So if I went to solid mode, let's say, and went off vertex, just went to material, the material is showing me the material color. And so the material is black, but the vertex color has got a color to it. For some reason, the black comes out white. I don't entirely know why. So I'm just going to get it back into material view. So I've got my background color here. Let's erase these strokes. Oh yes, drawing takes time. My last live stream went for 4 sessions. I think I had to do it over a couple of weeks. I hope my microphone isn't too hot. I'm just trying to get this at a right level near my face so that I sound okay, but I can draw okay as well. Where to start? Usually have to start with the foreground stuff, but I think I generally like to start with the hair. And so I'm just going to do a couple of tests here. Okay, we don't want green, we want black. And we may as well make our own palette while we're at it. So I'll just go add new palette, and I'm going to call this Dumpling. And you'll see that all the palettes have disappeared. I still have that original palette, that's still there. But I also have this Dumpling one that I'm now going to populate with my own colors. So got black, can hit plus. Okay. Added plus. Now, if I wanted to do a palette from this, which is probably a good start, I can click on this swatch, eyedropper, and we've got her skin tone. think I want this just a tiny bit deeper pink because then I can do highlights on this. And maybe just a tad grayer. Okay, there's our skin tone. The hair color is this nice green. There's a nice... Actually, let's zoom in here. Where's the... I think that's the mid-tone there. Okay. There's a nice green. Okay, there's our hair. Hey, Kelly, how's it going? Good to see you again. We're going to get that eye color in there too. I think I want to get both eye colors just to have some variation. Now we want to get these pinks and purples. There we go. And this pink over here. There we go. This white, this grayish white is, it's a bit in the blues. I'm just going to drop this down a bit more gray. Just so that we've got some tonal, like we can add highlights, we can add shadows, and we can get some tonal difference going. When you have straight black, straight white, it's a bit, yeah. Oh, actually, we've got some more mid-tony colors around the knees here. So let's select this color and let's pick that. And then I'm just going to drag and drop that. Okay, now that's our skin tone. Excellent. Hi, Crispy. How's it going? Good to see you. All right. So we've got a color palette, which is very nice. And so we've got some purples there, whites there. Okay. Oh, actually, this pink shouldn't exactly match the shirt pink. The inside of the mouth pink is a very particular color. But we'll just take the one color there. All right. So we've got a range here. That's a pretty good palette that we got going. We're going to be painting in the black. So I'm just going to save this. And where to begin? I like to begin with the eyes. I like to begin with the hair sometimes. It's really whatever preference you have. I have to test this brush out a little bit. Right, I've got, I'm going to put on the stabilize stroke. Set that a bit lower to 20. Stabilize. Okay, let's see. Yes, we got good. Pressure sensitivity and thickness. Excellent. Let's undo that. And it's a bit too thick still. So we'll drop that radius down, maybe by half. Yep, that should do it. All right. Let's get our eraser in here. There we go. All right. I'm going to try a couple of strokes here. There we go. Okay, and now we're inking. And inking is a process that I tend to like the most, but it's generally the most boring to look at. I really shouldn't say that on a live stream, should I? Don't watch, guys. It's boring. Sometimes. I used to take a lot of liberties with inking. I'd sort of like use it as the process of what I now do as refined pencils. You know, I'd sort of like do a very, very quick sketch and then I'd jump in and I'd do a bunch of inks. Bye-bye. Ah, David. I'm doing a small job for David at the moment, or helping out with a small job at the moment, and finding the time to get everything in is proving a bit of a chore at the moment. David's working on a very cool board game, doing a bit of a 3D model for him. So I think I might have some time, David, to go in and check it in a day or two when things calm down. At the moment, I'm sort of juggling homeschooling and a contract and various other stuff. And these live streams, I'm basically trying to keep that internet presence alive at the same time. Oh, no, you're welcome. No, I love the idea and the aesthetic of the game. If you want, David, send me a link. I'll put it in the description so that anyone watching, if they get up to this bit, they can check it out. or if if there's anything that you want people to check out, that'd be totally cool with me. All right, those inks are starting to look good. Yeah. Okay, so we're getting more of this fringe going. Now, anime hair is fun and it's frustrating. I can send you the Instagram account. Yeah, sure, man. Yeah. You can either post it here or you can. Why don't you email it to me or direct message it, and I will put it in the links for this live stream. So when it gets archived, people will see it in the notes there. Okay, so yeah, what was I doing here? Right, getting rid of that. Gonna use this line, rotate that out, scale it down a bit. Okay. See, I don't tend to use sculpt because I edit individual lines so that I can get these really cool tapers going on the hair. Right. We've got another strand going here. Yeah, I'll get that going like that. Let's see if I can do something real cheaty over here. Subdivide, smooth, grab this point, bring it about there, and then just rotate this line out. Too far. Ugh. Oh, what did I do? What did I do? Smooth, and let's smooth this right out. Let's go about 10. There we go. Smooth out that line. Bring it up over here. Scale about there, and scale this down. Oh, you know what? I don't like everything beyond this point. So let's try this again. Bring that here, rotate out so we get this nice smooth curve. Bring this in a little bit, rotate, sort of vector reconstruction here. Okay. Yeah, look, we're getting there. We're getting there. What have I gone and done with her hair here? It looks like she's got 2 haircuts. I don't want that. I want some of these strands to... Okay, yes, no. This is part of the fringe, and then this is part of the hair. So we've got this ear. The ear's definitely going to have to be... I'm going to do thicker lines on the skin here, because they're going to be more definite. Okay. Go. And round there. Probably need some references here. I'm not liking this little bang here. I think I want the fringe to stay there, and then yeah, I'm gonna have to figure this one out, aren't I? Should probably stick to the sketch. Let's bring this down a bit. Okay. I can scale this in. There we go. Oh, this student was from years ago when I was teaching at a college here in Sydney. I was teaching it, I think it was, I want to say SAE. I want to say SAE. I taught it too. No, it was JMC. That was the college. JMC College. Yeah, I stopped teaching there a couple of years back. Various reasons, mainly the kids were sort of taking over, and you know, work situations were changing. and yeah, it just got a little too hard. I burnt out a little bit. Um, but yeah, before that happened, I had some amazing students, and drawing Dumpling was one of them. Yeah, she really sort of took everything in class on board when a lot of other students were just there for a bit of a bludge, really. Uh, okay, okay, we're looking good here. Yeah. All right, that hair's looking kind of cute. Maybe we wanted this one to. Okay, we'll get to contouring in a second. Maybe we should get these buns in. So the buns should have some sort of a strap. So let's draw in that headband hair tire thing. And I think, yeah, I don't want to make that a straight line there. Draw mode. So has life been very affected by COVID? Because I can imagine you traditionally work from home. Yeah, surprisingly, yes. um, I took on very little um, uh, on-site work when COVID really hit last year. I had just started an amazing contract with Nickelodeon, and I was meant to be there for about 3 months. But then, yeah, COVID happened, and the next thing we knew, people were going into lockdowns, and no one knew what it was and what was going on. And so, you know, everything was shutting down, not knowing where things were heading. But what ended up happening was that, you know, they still had deadlines and they still had projects on the boil, and things that needed to get out. And luckily, I had some home studio equipment, which I've since upgraded, actually. Um, and yeah, I ended up doing about 3 to 4 months extra work for Nickelodeon and MTV. They run out of the both out of the same Viacom office here in Sydney. The MTV stuff was a lot of fun. Really liked that. So it was like, you know, teams meeting in the morning and talks with the producer, and this is what we need, and these are the sting assets, and these are the looks, and whatever. And what am I doing? It looks like a ball of yarn. I want contoured hair. Um, and yeah, so I would just sort of sit there and model and send screen grabs and all that sort of stuff from here. And I knew I needed, you know, equipment upgrades and stuff as soon as possible. So once that was over, yeah, I upgraded everything here. And I'm glad I did, because then the jobs I took was pretty much just, yeah, stuff that I could do from here. You know, I could not exactly choose to be choosy, but I wasn't really supposed to be working because I was doing the parent thing. Oh boy, everyone wants to hear this story, don't they? Um, and my wife was doing the full time thing, but of course she was working from home as well at the time. This looks a little disproportionate, so let's get this a little bit more in proportion. Uh, and so, yeah, like I could pick and choose because it wasn't necessary for me to earn a great deal, but, you know, I still needed to keep some skin in the game, so to speak. Okay, but she said sort of these Sailor Moon type bangs. So let's get some contours in there. There we go. Yeah. So, the sort of work that I got in the following months, even though it was a bit few and far between, was very rewarding. And this year sort of culminated in much more rewarding contracts. So, yeah, currently, I'm sure I've mentioned it before, and David, I've been working on something for CG Cookie, which is a short film project of theirs. I managed to land that through a contact who also worked at CG Cookie once upon a time, and he goes, look, they're looking for a storyboard artist, and I've seen your boards, and do you mind if I pass on your details to Wes Burke? And I was like, oh, absolutely. I've always wanted to work with that group. And he goes, yeah, look, there's no guarantees, but he's said he'll take a look at it, and I've put in a good word, and blah, blah, blah. And so next thing I know, got a meeting with Wes, and Wes is like, have you got any portfolio stuff to show me? And it's a film. It's a short film, but it won't be out for a while, so it's still a bit under wraps. But they're keeping some of the info public, like that it's on, and they're going to show little production slides and things like that. I had a meeting with Wes, and we sort of worked out that I had kind of the skills, but he sort of wanted to see something that was much more, in line with what his project was more about. So I said to him, we don't need that, sorry. So I said to him, hey, look, give me a chance to, could I draw one of the characters for you? And he said, yeah, that'd be kind of good. Let's see how you do it. And so I did. I sort of took a couple of the things. It was technically spec work, but he wanted to pay me for it, which he did. And yeah, I sort of went all out. I said, oh, look, everything is relying on the quality of what I produce here. So yeah, I really went to town with the designs, and sent it back to him and said, hey, what do you think? And he loved it. He showed the producer, and then they had notes. And then the next thing I know, they're like, oh, by the way, yeah, you got the gig, sir. And so like I'm there thinking it's still spec work, working up a few boards and stuff. And they're already on the assumption that, I'll be doing this project. And in typical Wes fashion, he's like, oh, look, I don't know if you have the bandwidth, but would you like to do some concept stuff, because we want to bring a 3D modeler on board, and I kind of want to get the characters worked out while you're working on the boards. And so I had to say to him, are we still assuming the same timeline for the storyboards? And he goes, oh hell no. No. This is this is going to push them back. So I said, I'm in. And so, what was going to be 2 months' work turned into, let's just say I'm working on it for the foreseeable future. Yeah, let's just put it that way. So it's a very good gig, and I'm spending probably more time than I should per week, but then I've got some other stuff on as well that I can't really talk about, and of course I've got forever. Yeah, right. Yeah, it's one of those gigs, Oh, look, there's more than just the movie when it comes to CG Cookie. got a lot of educational components, and yeah, look, I'll be working a lot of other small bits and pieces for them. Okay, that's looking very nice. How about we do the same for this bit of the eye? Really shouldn't be doing this. I should be doing this for the shape and not lots of little lines. Okay, there's one eye. Because if I go into edit mode, I want to be able to shrink that down. Ah, look, that's not looking too bad. I can shrink that down too. There we go. Let's bring this over a little bit. And the illusion is still sold. Yeah, might. Get rid of this little mess of lines here. And one more. Maybe just thicken this up. Get rid of that point. Grab this. Grab that. And then shrink this down. Proportionally. There we go. That's a lot. That's a bit better. Okay. We're looking good here. We're looking good. Yes. Yeah, I take my time with the inks. Now we obviously have that eye hood, so I'm just going to make a nice thin bit of line there. Just the inks, David. Yeah, just the inks. I'd done the pencils last night. I had yeah. I had another live stream last night, and I thought, oh look, it's an anime character. I could probably do this in one sitting. Turns out I couldn't, and I said I'd concentrate on the inks tonight. Which is what I'm going to do. So I'll get to as far as the inks go. Oh wow, we're already 40 minutes in. Is that right? Do I have a time here? Let's see. Stream settings, stream health. Stream health is excellent. No, that. Analytics. Yeah, it's probably going for 40. Yeah, I should get a wiggle on. Let's just move along here with these inks. Save here. Let's get this eye there. And then this line comes down like this. And we'll probably have more line there. But what I'm going to do is get that thicker. And now we've got a tangent. Not cool. We can fix that. A chatty chat helps make the time. Yes, it does. Yes. Yes, it does indeed. Okay. Right. Nope. Just thicken. Smooth these out. There we go. And thicken this line up. There we go. So what I'm doing is here is a proportional scale. I do an Alt-S on the vertex, and it just scales the vertex size rather than scaling everything at the same time. Okay, let's take that. While we're near the eyes, why don't we get these eyes in? Now, the way I do eyes, I definitely use circles. Okay, that's a nice high subdivision. Let's get a nice low radius, and let's put in an oval here. All right. And we have to sort of take that point there, that point there. That looks good. Let's make it slightly larger. Yep, one. Okay. And let's get this first eye done. and then we'll get the next eye done. So I'm going to go Link, Shift D, S to scale, scale that down to get. And let's just scale this up a little bit more. Now, we're going to change the material to a solid fill, assign, it should assign black, nice. Got to get a nice, yes, that's right, her pupil is colored. Okay, we're going to have to take that into account. Now let's take one of these vertices, delete the ones on the outside so we get this separated. And we've got an eye there. Excellent. That's right, yes. Now, sometimes this works. Actually, let's just undo this for a second. Let's undo that deletion, because if I'm going to do this, duplicate, and bring the eye over there, I'm going to scale this in the X ever so slightly, just to put it in the right position. Right. I know it's looking a bit weird now. And what we want to know is that the pupils are going to be proportionate. So I'm going to move this over a little bit more, maybe. Maybe scale it up ever so slightly. See, my old mistake was always making the fore eye much bigger than the last eye, and it just ended up looking like a really weird fisheye effect just on the eyes, and that was not great because the angle's not so pronounced, right? We are further away technically with this eye. It's not so pronounced that we'd see a lot of difference in the scale. And so now, yeah, okay, I think that's working. I think that's working. Yes. Scale this in. And then, you sort of want to get a bit of variance in the ink work around the eye as well. All right, so it looks like we just did a really nice bit of stroking there. Okay, good. Good. All right. Let's move on with some other bits of inking, shall we? Get dessert. Oh, yes. Good. I'll be finished by then. No, just kidding. All right. So another thing we can do with the inks here is stroke thickness. So if we need to do the overall thickness later, we can play around with the thickness on the actual layer, but we won't do that just for now. We'll try to get as close as possible here on this. Right. So now we've got the arm bits. Yeah, let's get this hand. Let's get this hand inked. Right. Oh, still on solid here. Switch that back to solid stroke. Okay. Okay. Nope, too thin. Let's bring that back up to, oh no, what was the skin? 40. It was about 40. Yeah, there we go. Okay, Long. Great work, Paul. Keep it up. Love your video. It helps a lot. Oh, thanks, Long. Good to see you in the chat. Okay. Yeah, gonna get these. Fingers are so delicate. I can get them so wrong. And I end up having to do a bit of editing on these as I go, usually. Or maybe we'll fudge this and put these closer together. What do you think? Yeah, I can just get the angle right. I think these should be closer to the palm as well. Pinky should be higher a little bit, I think. Yeah. Okay, that's looking better. Okay, I've got our thumb here. Bang, and then a think we'll just put the ball of the thumb about there. Get that in there. There we go. And then this finger, because this is brushing away the hair, bring that in there. Okay. Only a handful of viewers, but no matter. Maybe it's a revolving door. An influencer. Pfft, hardly, man. Hardly. I got to do a product review, which was very nice. And I'm not sure if different people use the same email account, because I got emailed yesterday by this company called Tourbox, and they said, "Oh, we haven't heard from you in a while, and did you like the product and blah blah blah." And I'm like, "Yeah, I did the review video. Here's the link again in case you didn't see it." Just was giving the benefit of the doubt. And the email coming back was pretty much, "Oh, yes, I remember you." Would I recommend any other streaming platforms? To be honest, I have not tried any other streaming platforms yet. I'm still very new at YouTube streaming. Yes, I know Twitch is a huge thing. Also sounds a bit scary to me because it's like it's super saturated with streamers of this variety. You know, the art stuff and the game stuff and all that sort of stuff. And I don't know what I'd be wading into exactly. And I heard that, like, I don't know, do you need to pay for a subscription there? And you know, then I'm obligated to charge watches and all that sort of stuff. Right now, I'm good with getting away with a bit of ad spend on YouTube, right? So I enable ads. I don't enable ads while I'm streaming. I find that super distracting. I know why people do it. I don't poo-poo them for doing it or whatnot, but yeah, like, I don't want to do it. I want to sit here and I want to get as many concurrent viewers, which is fairly low right now, as possible, and keep them, you know. And if I'm constantly battling with ads, I don't know when the ads are going to pop up. I don't know. Like, I haven't done a stream with ads on, so I don't know if I get a warning or whatever. Like, if I did, that'd be great, because it'd be like, okay, I'm going to cut to a commercial break now, and I can go pee or make myself a coffee, or sounds like a good idea, but yeah. I also like the idea that, you know, streams like this, I tend to think that people sort of have in the background. They don't sit there glued to it like a TV show or anything like that. And so they'll come back and check every now and then, which, you know, I'm totally fine with. I'll just sit here and work. And it's kind of nice to know that people are out there, you know, and they're talking and chatting and saying hi and all that sort of stuff. But ultimately, you know, people have lives. They got stuff to do. Okay, I have no idea what I was just doing with that line. And I'm still not sure if I've got this arm right. I just don't think I do. So there's a double bump here, so it should be like that, and then is it straight out? But you are not obliged to make viewers subscribe. So it's very similar to this, but I can tell you more about it later if you wish. Oh, yeah. I'd love to hear about people's experiences with Twitch. It's been around for a while, but it was always sort of like a gamer thing, obviously. And I'd sort of heard about it in various circles. And Dumpling's a Twitch streamer. She's very good with it. And yeah, really like what she does. I know a couple of Blender artists who do both. They'll do a simultaneous Twitch and YouTube stream, so they kind of have the audience for both, I guess. Right, this goes like that. Okay, maybe I do it like this, like shells. Okay, like that. Yep. Who is Dumpling? Who are any of us? That's just the name she goes on. I kind of respect her wishes to, you know, not give out her real name. And yes, it's not her real name. It's like cosplayers, you know. I know a lot of cosplayers, and they, you know, they have a persona, and this is the persona that I'm drawing here. So she comes on and says her name. That's great, but like if she doesn't, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not the one to sort of say, oh hey, I told everyone your name was this. No, she's a good friend of mine, and a very talented artist. I'm really happy she kept the art going. She was a returning, a more mature age student. And by mature age, boy, that sounded bad when I said it, thinking back. By mature age, did you know that, like, here in Australia, if you're away from school for like a gap year and you go back, you are considered a mature age student. Yeah, so you could be, okay, let's see, graduate at 18, you take a gap year, you start college or university at 20, you're mature age. Or what's the other word for it? There was another word for it, I've forgotten already. Okay, I've got these little sleeves here. Maybe this is what the problem is. Okay, so let's get these frills inked. There we go. She loves her frills. Yeah, she probably could walk me through Twitch. It's just another avenue right now, and I'm like, it could be fun eventually, but for now, like, YouTube is working really well for me. I'm you know, got this audience here, uh, and it's been a lot of fun working on the channel, and people sort of find me here. I don't tend to like having too many avenues where people can find you. You know, it's like find me on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, and I'm like, yeah, like if you're not on one of those things, people can still find you. You know, everyone's got the YouTube app. Everyone watches YouTube. Everyone watches Twitch streams over YouTube. Also, I've got like my kids to consider as well, because um, you know, they're getting into sort of replay Twitch streams that they find on YouTube, famous gamers and stuff, and they're starting to tell me about, you know, dilemmas with famous gamers and stuff like that. Huge following here. Yeah, well, I started this channel in 2015, if you can imagine, but like I didn't really do anything with it until 2018. I'm gonna have to do a correction for this arm, I think. So let's just keep inking away. All right, and elbow. Yeah, the following sort of came in the last year or two. 2018, I sort of started using the YouTube channel in earnest. I was like, oh, where can I take this? Is it worth it? Because they sort of changed the rules around monetization, what they used to call the affiliate program. You just had to have content and you could put ads on it and earn money. And then they discovered that all sorts of content was doing that. And so then, and some content was just sitting there. No one was updating it. No one was responding. The channels were virtually dead, but they were earning an ad spend. And YouTube sort of wanted to crack down on that a little bit. And so they said, okay, you got to have minimum 1,000 subscribers, and you got to have a minimum watch time each month of. It was something. Now, when I think about it, it's fairly low, but there was a minimum, and if you don't meet that quota, then you can't run ads on your stuff. Then they got more. There was a whole thing with children's programming. I remember. And there were all these weird channels where Spider-Man and Elsa were having affairs, and the Joker kidnapping Elsa for some reason. I don't know if anyone ever saw those weird videos, but they kept popping up on kids, like YouTube Kids, and my kids sort of saw that stuff every now and then, and YouTube sort of went, okay, what the hell is this about? And these people were making a lot of money because they were getting their stuff on the YouTube Kids stuff. Dude, I wasn't watching this stuff. I did see it occasionally because it was on YouTube Kids. And because kids would watch things over and over and over again, they were prime advertising material because they would get the clicks per minute rate up. And that's what you have to watch when you're getting an ad spend, right? Clicks per minute. And they said, well, we don't know what's going on here. So they started to crack down on stuff that was specifically on the kids channel. And so now stuff that goes out to kids, like I have to, every time I put up a video, every video that gets posted, I've got is this for kids? And it used to be a very black and white setting. It was like, if you put not for kids, they kind of assumed R18. And I was like, well, I'm not R18. So now what they do is like, okay, so we won't put it on YouTube Kids, which is fair enough. I mean, it'd be great for ad spend, but some of the things I want to draw aren't exactly kid friendly, but they're not adult, or not totally adult content. I don't know if I could put this on a kid's channel. Point being, there's a nice in between where it's like, it's not for kids, but it's not, adult content. The way we sort of classify adult content. Right. Hey, that's looking good. I think I got those frills. Pretty good. Okay, we're definitely going to... Yeah, speaking of not adult content, I just have to put some cleavage here, so don't mind me, guys. Just going to... There we go, I think. No, that's looking wrong. Looks like she's got a boob over a boob. Okay, can't have that. I think I'll do that with shading. Alrighty, so now let's get on to... Okay, so this is the easy bit. 2 girls, 1 roll. Yes. That would have been an interesting live stream. And petticoat goes out like that. Petticoat goes out like that. Got a bit of a... crease there. And then we've got these frills here, which we now have to ink. Excellent. I think I'm getting better at doing these frills. I can even get a bit of variation in them. Jazz a bit, freestyle. Yeah. That's going to be hidden, and that's going to be another frill there, and a little one over here. Yes, why not? And we need to get the contours of these frills in as well. And this petticoat comes out like that. Okay. This is a bit... I want to get this... let's get this proportional off for a second. And let's just do this kind of thing. Bloop. Connected only, yes, but I don't want to get it all out of control. There we go. Oh, I think these are very expensive frills. Okay, good, good. Okay. Okay. Now, I think... Is there some stitching here? No, but I think I might add some stitching. So, like, after I've done something like this, what I'm going to do is get that stabilize off. And just do something like this. This might look good. There we go. Okay, I think we're looking good. Oh, this is a stabilize feature, right? With it off, if I try to draw a line, I can be pretty jittery, but with it on, if I try to draw a line and try to even jitter, it smooths everything out. So that's the stabilize feature is a good one, especially for clean lines like this. Right, let's get these frills in. And let's finish up this inking. These were pretty good. There we go. Yeah, a lot of inking is to do with detail. And you always have to get some of that, stuff to go behind, right? Yep, this one's going to come out pretty nice, I think. Yep. Now, obviously, we're going to do another session after the inking, so I'm not going to do it all tonight. Okay, that petticoat comes out like this. Now this one is more, this sort of thing. So it's a looser material, but I kind of want it, swung into 3D air for a second. If you just joined me for the first time, hi, welcome everyone. Say hi in the chat if you haven't before. It's good to have you here. We're just working on the inks for this piece tonight. If you're here for the first time and you like what you see here tonight, feel free to subscribe to the channel. I try to do live streams now as often as I can, and currently I'm in lockdown, so streaming is... Hi, Dark. Dark's back. Yay. Streaming is something that I'm hoping to do a lot of. I hope it doesn't get too boring. And, it's always a pleasure to have people around. To talk to of an evening, to see what's going on in the world. All that sort of stuff. Been inking here for... How long are we at? Well, yeah, look, I'd say over an hour, maybe an hour 10. And we're coming up to the business end. I think I've just got the rest of this petticoat to do, the legs, and then that funky arm, which I can't quite get right. So I'm going to have to do this correction on that one. But we're getting it. Yeah. Yes, it's nice to have some folks to chat to. But so I understand that there's a lot of... Sometimes streams are really nice on in the background. People sort of like look up from whatever they're doing and we'll just check out what's going on. So now that I've gotten better with these frills, I should be a lot faster with them as well. I have to really try to get these top bits a bit more expertly done, I think. I think I'm getting there. Yeah, it's working. Okay. So this looks like a bit of a double petticoat, I think, which is very nice. There we go. We'll get this leg ink in here and in here, and then this leg ink there. So we just have the problematic arm left. So let's maybe... Okay, I'll just fill in the rest of these hair strands. Make it something worthwhile. Yep, okay, so she's pushing that back. Okay, good. Right. Where are we? Ashley, hi. Nothing much going on in the world. Certainly no good football soccer case. Oh, sorry to hear about England. Do I tell you that I'm Italian? No. And Ashley's like, blocked. No. I'm not a huge football fan, but I did sort of follow along, and there's a lot of football fans in the family and stuff like that. But yeah, it was boy, that it comes to a penalty shootout. I know more than I should. Did you watch it at Ashley? Let's bring back those corrections, maybe. With a surname like that, I should have guessed. Nobody guesses Kajeji as an Italian surname. And even in the town where my family's from, I think we've got a street there, and there's a few, but the few are pretty much the same family. So, yeah. Right, what was I doing here? We got corrections. All right, let's take the corrections. Let's get rid of the points of the corrections. And let's try a second set of correction. Let's see, we'll bring back this empty. Okay. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this. I'm going to go, okay, go back to that. Bring this back. Went on too long, some of us had to work the next day. Oh boy, yeah, and here in Australia, we've got people who stay up at like 3 a.m. or whenever it was on, and yeah, they will watch regardless of work. They will watch it at work. Sometimes when the World Cup matches were on, you'd know, people would sort of take it a bit with a grain of salt. That people would be sort of like in on time and stuff. I don't know what it's like over there in England. I know you got some football fans. Okay, I think I'm going to stick with maybe a bit of creasing here. See, this would have to go over here and then maybe out this way instead. Yes. Something like that. Yeah, and then frills to cover up what we don't want to see. let's try that with the inks, shall we? Alrighty, inks. Back to ink pen, solid stroke, black. Yes. Let's go 1 and 2. Get our frills in here. And some places closed early to let people watch the game. Really nice employees. Yes. Oh boy. When something like that's a big deal. Yeah, not much going on in the world, huh? We're looking at 2 extra weeks of lockdown over here, which means I'll have the kids being schooled by me for another couple of weeks. Always fun. They're doing great, actually. It's the first time round was really, really difficult, and this time round, I think both the school and the students have sort of embraced it. The kids sort of grew to expect it. Oh, hey, wow. I think, hey, guys, I think we've got an ink. I think we've got some inks. Oh, sure, close offices and open stadiums for sports. Put the sarcasm hashtag there, David. For Comic Cons. Oh, yeah, over here. Boy. Okay, yes. Are those inks looking good? Yay. I think they are. Do we have any detail here? I think I might, what I'm do is, because she's a waitress, get a bit of a crease inked in here. So we sort of have, we know that the dress kind of creases a little bit. Maybe. And yeah, we may have to play with this area over here. Loving it, the ink stays. Yes. Yep, they've come out okay. Actually quite surprised at the time. So now the secondary inks I do in a much thinner line, and like I could just, okay, so we've got this wavy line here. All right, so we've got to get that in there. Let's go back here. And let's get that in. Because I've done this sort of fatter petticoat type thing, it's not going to be as wavy. But we are going to have that line in there. There we go. There we go. Because the details really make anime characters. You know, it's always the details in the clothing and stuff like that, you know, stitching and so on. And so we'll have to have some stitching under here. Around there, and we'd probably disappear behind that arm there. I'm just going to put a bit of a line there because when we do the fills, I'm going to need that. And the last thing we need to do really is just a few minor corrections. But guys, I think we've got some inks, and I'm pretty happy with them. I'm going to show you just a couple of small tricks with refining the inks ever so slightly. Okay, that is not good. Let's get you there, and let's subdivide. And let's get a bit of shape in that leg. Yep, great. Okay. Now, the eyes. I know there's going to be some highlights here, and I tend to do the highlights as well on the inks layer. I might just quickly do a highlights for the inks here, and they'll be in white. So we're going to go solid fill No, we want 100% white. So that's 100% value, no hue, no saturation. Get a circle in here. And we can bring in an oval. Now the way we can see this really is by bringing it back to one of these shading modes. And then start to play around with where we're going to place these. Make this slightly smaller. Right. And we know that there's going to be a secondary highlight in the bottom there, about there as well, because it's like it's not just over the iris, but the eye itself. And so, you know, something like that starts to get that glint in there. And, you know, then we'll work with the shading itself. Yep, there we go. And we can even sort of manipulate it just a little bit. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go L, duplicate, scale that even smaller, make this nice second highlight there. Looks kind of cute. All right, so we've got that on a highlights layer. Okay, I'm going to lock that off. I'm going to take this inks layer here, and let's look through the camera so we know that all of our boundaries are correct. That's looking great. Her left thumb looks missing. The one pushing. Ah, yes, it should be tucked in behind that. You're right. Okay, I'm going to just up the stroke thickness a little bit there. Okay, that's looking good. It does look missing. Let's fix that. So what I'm going to do, obviously this knuckle needs to be out a little bit more, and this needs to be out a little bit more. Maybe we need to see, or maybe that's not the issue. Is the palm line in the right place? Probably not. Oof, I think I'm going to have to fix this hand. Should I just go for a redraw over the top of these inks? Yeah, let's do that. Let's bring this corrections layer back. Now bring this up. Okay, got that. And this time I'm just going to drop the opacity of the inks down a little bit so I can do the correction on here. Bring back our pencil here. All right. If we take a look at the empty, the original, sorry. Does that hand look good? I mean, if I basically just followed this hand, right? Because then we've got, probably just follow this hand here, and that would definitely, well, be more correct, I guess. Like that. And so then we can make that invisible, bring back our inks, right? And that's our correction. See, I fudged that hand, didn't I? So if we put that back, bring back these inks. Yeah, that hand. See, I changed this one. I think what I'm going to do is, if you want my layman, absolutely. A layman's eye is always welcome. No, I've always, than you know. Okay, I'm going to grab these points here and maybe just move these up. That would move that thumb line up. This one up like this. Right, so that would look a little bit better. I'm just going to get rid of this so that maybe I can just use points. Get this. If I rotate that, that could work there, I guess. And then I just sort of like get that forearm in a little bit closer. That, That could work. Let's get rid of those inks and bring back our refine. Test this on? No. Inks. Right. Let's bring that up. I'm going to go back into edit mode. Oh, let's these as well. So we move our arm over a little bit and our wrist. And now we can try to use our corrections part of the artwork now. How does that look? Does that look more correct? Why don't we reversing it? It does to me. I mean, okay, the thumb is still hiding behind that finger, so maybe we've got to do something about that real quick. It'd be okay. Much better. Okay. I might go with that and see what we get, because like this thumb, maybe I could fold it into the palm a little bit more. I think that's what I'll do. I'm just trying to see how awkward it feels naturally. It's an anime thing. I was thinking little bunny ear peace sign things, but I kind of like the idea of brushing the hair out of the way a bit more. Okay, so now we can see the thumb. Got that finger sort of folding over the thumb here. Everything. Let's ink back over the solid stroke. That's still a very tight radius, so let's go back to a wider one. Let's just keep things simple. Second. Palm. Internet might be acting up, buffering on my end. Yeah, it's got to be you. It's you this time. I haven't had buffering from my end this time, which is really interesting. Okay, get these lines in as well. Pop. And this one's got to sort of be similar. But we can at least see the thumb. And then this finger here. Okay, and now we can bring back our hair. Okay. Slightly different. A couple of inks to fix up as well. So we'll just get that she's brushing aside. Put in there. Oh no, am I buffering again? I'm getting saying it's an excellent connection on me. All right, I think we're looking good, guys. Here are our inks for tonight. Right, what I was going to do is here in my, under layers, I've got my inks selected. Stroke thickness, make it a little bit like, more prominent, pronounced. I can also tint it. So if I wanted to, I could say maybe give this, let's go for maybe a deep purple, right? Tint as well. But for now, don't need to do this because I want these nice black inks. But yeah, in the next stream, and currently I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow night. If it is, I'll put a notification up. But if it's going to be the following evening or possibly next week, I'll have to join in. But look, thanks for coming along. It's been about an hour and a half. And drawing Dumpling to the inking phase. I'm quite happy with that. Thanks everyone for joining. Hopefully I'll see you guys again next time.